right now, there is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No, I mean even better than once in a lifetime. I'm talking about an opportunity that may never have been in front of any other human being for the last 10,000 years of civilization. What is it? Well, let me ask you this question. What other time in history has a person under 25 years old ever been able to be one of the wealthiest people in history? And I'm not including people who inherited their money or were, the king's son or something, royalty. I'm talking about everyday ordinary person who went from $0 in their bank account to $26 billion. That's Mark Zuckerberg, who started Facebook. This is somebody under 30 years old. When has there ever been a time in history where a company has gone from zero and in 1 or 2 years been a multi-billion-dollar company founded by just everyday ordinary people? That's the story of Instagram. That's the story of Groupon. So, when is a better time to have been born, to take advantage of the opportunities of being nothing and going to something amazing financially? Never is the answer. Never. Because the world no longer cares where you live. They don't care what socioeconomic group you grew up in. They don't care if you have a college degree. They don't care what your last name is. They don't care what the color of your skin is. They don't care even about your age or your inexperience. No. The combination of factors that are in front of you and I right now are, number one, the internet. The internet has almost become a cliche. People are, the internet, this is, like it's past or something, the opportunity. The internet, in 100 years, we will look back, and in this year, we'll remember that we were just getting started in the internet. 5, 6, 7 years ago, most people didn't even have an email address. 10 years ago, I didn't. 11 years ago, I didn't. So, the internet's new, number one. Number two, it's pervasive, meaning it's getting its way into every area of our life. TV is going to be using the internet. Your phone is now completely using the internet. Your GPS in your car is using the internet. Government is using the internet. Your company is using the internet. Your house is going to be powered by the internet. Now, what's amazing about that? Well, you could be a poor kid in the middle of a village in Bangladesh. If you got one internet connection, all of a sudden you can be selling something to not just other people in Bangladesh, but to anybody else who's connected. Now, I know this sounds elementary, but wait, stop for a second. In the 1830s, 70% of the world was still occupied doing what? Growing food. Farming. That means you were pretty much locked in. If you were a farmer, the son of a farmer, you were going to be a farmer. Even if you had the skill to rise out of it, the world wouldn't even let you. There was class structure and, racism and bigotry, all this. Now you could be a woman. No one cares. I just was reading about the woman who started Spanx. Under 40 years old, became a billionaire, never borrowed any money, started a company. She owns the company 100% herself. Name a time this could have ever happened in history where a woman under 40 with no money behind her becomes a billionaire while she's still young. Never. Not even close. I'm reading a history of the Middle Ages. For thousands of years, you were low. If you were a serf, you were nothing. You were a slave. I just saw the movie Django. Slavery. And now, we not only have eradicated slavery, but I'm telling you this. I don't care. I'm a mixed race person. I'm half white, half Spanish. Nobody's really racist anymore. And look, I've experienced racism. I grew up in the South, but guess what? Now with the internet, People don't even really know who you are. You could be selling to the Ku Klux Klan. Nobody cares. They just want what you're selling them. That's it. So now the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is that you, listening to this, have the ability to throw off whatever burdens have burdened and held people down for thousands of years. Race, location, education, last name, skin color, gender, sexuality. Nobody cares. And now you can connect your business into literally billions of people's lives and sell what you're good at. And you can sell, now people aren't even just using the internet, obviously on their computer, they're keeping it in their hand. They're walking around. You're connected to billions of people. So all you have to do in this once-a-lifetime opportunity is create something that people want. Not all billion. You know, one of my mentors out in Nation told me, he said, Todd, the beauty of the modern world is no matter what crazy idea you have, you can find 1 million people who are interested in that one thing. There's 7 billion people on the planet and rapidly growing to 10. No matter what you're into, you can probably get 1 million people who will follow your interest. And that's your market. And they're carrying around in their hand, on their phone, on their laptop, all day long, something that you can connect with them. So here's the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to make it simple. You create a skill. You take your interest. You turn that into a skill. Let's say you like cooking. Well, you become passionate about cooking. You build massive skills as a cook, understanding food. You then have a lot of venues you could go, channels you could go. You could sell a cookbook. You could sell video classes online on how to cook. You could sell a course like this one. You could patent a product that people use to cook better. You could get your own TV show. You could make webisodes. And every one of these can be turned into money. Because if you're passionate about it, you can then be skilled. If it's your destiny, see, destiny creates passion. Because our brain is good. Our brain knows, for example, me, when I was young, I had a lot of passion about being a professional basketball player. But I wasn't good enough. And my mind knew it. So when other opportunities came, I moved into those. My destiny was something else. Even though I had multiple passions, my destiny, the subconscious of our brain, is highly logical. It moves us into that place. If we let it, where we have passion, passion turns into devotion. Devotion turns into skill. Skill turns into the ability to share your skill. And sharing your skill turns into money. That's what it does. Go back to Mark Zuckerberg. He had this idea. He wanted to connect people to each other. He felt it was his destiny. Destiny led to passion. Passion led to skill because he focused on it. And then guess what? He started to share that skill. He had built a skill in creating a website where people could connect to each other. And he started to share that. He was passionate about it, skilled in it. He began to share it, and people began to value it and use it. And the next thing you know, you go from a regular kid, drops out of college, worth, at one point I read, about $26 billion in his 20s. Let me tell you what that means to be in your 20s and have that much money. I'm going to blow your mind. If you adjust for age, Warren Buffett has like $40 billion, but he's almost 90 years old. Bill Gates has, $40 plus billion, and he's in his 60s. So what does it mean to be in your 20s and have that much money? Because you got all those more years to use your money and invest it and let it grow. Well, if you could take $26 billion in your 20s, like Mark Zuckerberg was worth, and grow that at 7% annually compounded, you're worth $1.4 trillion. That means the age-adjusted net worth of Mark Zuckerberg is in the trillions of dollars if you age adjust. Over $1 trillion, one kid? One kid? Well, the American GDP is like $15 trillion. He's a 15th of it. Now, obviously, he doesn't have all that $1 trillion in his hand, but you see where I'm going with this. The opportunity is so big that you and I, thank God, we don't even have to be as smart as Mark Zuckerberg. I don't have to be as skilled. I don't need $1 trillion to be happy. I hope you don't need $1 trillion. You don't. You and I, we just need what we need for our passions. For some of us, it's $100,000 a year. For some of us, it's, there's a good talk, a TED talk where some scientists did research and they found in the modern world, in America, in the Western world, Western Europe, you need about $75,000, $85,000 to be happy. Below that, you will have levels of unhappiness. So that's it. You make $100,000 a year. I remember when I first started out, I figured out my first year as an entrepreneur, I figured out how to make it's funny, I think I made exactly $72,000. Now this is, a while ago, but I was like, wow. And I was happy. Man, that was enough money. I could go on any trip I want. I could do anything I want. I could take a girl out on a date. I had the place I wanted, the car I wanted. I didn't have a Ferrari then, but I was happy. So whatever your destiny is, what I'm saying, this once in a lifetime opportunity is, there is a time now where nothing's holding you back. Don't listen to the lies. Anyone tries to tell you, the economy is bad is an idiot. The economy is bad for who? The economy always is bad for somebody. I'm saying it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to tap into the internet. I don't care if you want to start a restaurant. You're still going to need the internet. Because it's not the internet. It's a connected tunnel where you could take your restaurant and connect with people almost for no cost. Very little cost. There's ways you can build loyal fan bases. Whether you have a restaurant or a website. I'm not even talking about the internet just for people who want a website business. I'm talking about any business. Now, why do I say it's a once in a lifetime opportunity? I do not believe that this will last forever. Why? Well, like anything, a tremendous amount of people are going to start taking advantage of this. Just wait for the next 10 years. When all these kids who are 10 years old growing up using the iPhone and iPad, when these kids get older, they're going to blow by you and I with their understanding of how to use technology. There's going to be a lot more competition. It's going to be a lot harder to get people's attention because there'll be a lot of smarter people. So I see a window of anywhere from 2 to 5 years where you can really get in. And that's what I'm saying. Do it right now. Look back in history. I was reading, about the Rockefellers. I was reading these, let's just take the steel barons. Some of these guys who started steel in the early 1900s, they made incredible amounts of money. But eventually, like right now, it's not so easy to make money in the steel business. It's just a commodity. Let's look back at the history of almost any industry, another big industry, real estate. Even recently, 30, 40 years ago, some of my business partners made tremendous amount of money in real estate. And you can still make money in real estate. You can still make it, but it's not as easy as it used to be. You got to look harder, dig harder, work harder. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers, he started out, I think, either $7,000 or $10,000. And in a matter of 10, 15 years, he grew that into having enough money to buy the Los Angeles Lakers and land. And, it was a guy worth $100 million from $10,000. That was just buying real estate. He used to fix them up himself, patch them up. It's harder to do that now. You got to look for the next opportunity. And the next opportunity is your passion combined with the internet. One thing one of my mentors told me, he said the beauty of doing something that you have a lot of passion and that you have a lot of destiny around is that it's very hard to copy you. Because for whatever reason, passions and destiny are uniquely given to people. Every one of us has a slightly different life upbringing that gives us a slight different passion. We have a different set of natural skills, intellect, creativity, and that forms into this kind of destiny that brings us to this passion, and that's unique. So as you foster that, and as this course teaches you how to do that and turn this into money, you need the internet. And you need to be in it at a time when it's easy. A lot easier. It's easy still. Trust me. I've made a lot of money on the internet. And every business I've ever started on the internet, every year gets a little bit harder because people start doing something similar. I still can make money online. I think the internet, people will be making money on the internet for the next 1,000 years. But I'm telling you, right now is a chance to buy cheap, to get in early. I live in Los Angeles. I live in Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills area. And I was talking to some people. There's a county next to Los Angeles called Orange County. And at one time, the Orange County was owned by the Irvine family. One family owned the whole county. You could have gone and bought 10 acres from that Irvine family for nothing. For nothing. But guess what? Not everybody was a trendsetter. Not everybody could look ahead. And boy, did people lose out. Boy, did they lose out. I'll tell you a story about not catching an opportunity. Not too long ago, there was a guy, and he was approached by somebody that wanted to buy a hamburger franchise from these McDonald brothers. Nobody had ever heard of them, the McDonald brothers. And he needed some money to buy a franchise. He went to his brother and he said, let me borrow just a little bit of money and I'm going to buy this hamburger franchise from the McDonald brothers. And his brother-in-law, I think it was his brother-in-law, looked at him and said, who wants to have hamburgers? Nobody's interested in eating hamburgers. So he never got the money. He didn't do the deal. And then another guy came after him, Ray A. Kroc, and he did it instead. And at one point, guess who was the richest man in the United States? Ray A. Kroc. Because he saw an opportunity before. So pay attention, stay tuned as we teach you this. I'm giving you access to the once-in-a-life opportunity. And it's even better than ever. I'm going to add this one last little piece. If you noticed, I said, now not only have the internet to connect and have your business in everybody's hands, your money-making machine. In effect, you turn everybody's cell phone in the world and everybody's computer and laptop and iPad into a potential ATM for you. You're going to put something in and you're going to take money out. They're going to put something in, you're going to take the money out. But I'm going to add one thing that I think is even more interesting, because life isn't all about making money. What's more interesting to me, the money is like a plus. But what's more interesting is this is the first time in history you could get paid for whatever your passion is. You could not always do that. Like I said, 1830, 70% of people were farmers. You had to be farmers. The world needed that many farmers because there wasn't the efficiencies of scale that we have now in agriculture. So you were locked in. And if you wanted to be a painter and your dad was you were stuck. Now, you could make a lot of money, but how many people... I remember my dentist when I was young in North Carolina. I was getting my teeth done, and I was laid back in his chair, and I look up on the ceiling, and there was paintings up there. And I was like, wow, those are cool paintings. Who did those? And he goes, oh, I did those. And I was like, really? And you're a dentist? And he said, yeah, I always wanted to be a painter. That was my true passion, my true love. But my dad said there's no money in it, so you need to just become a dentist. Now, I'm not going to argue whether that was a good or bad decision and good or bad advice from his father, but I will say this. We now have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where if your passion is art, there's a way you can make money. Not just as an artist. You might share a course on how to learn to draw that you create. You might have a blog. You might have expert advice. You might have travel art webisodes. There's so many ways. You create a following of people who are passionate. 1 million people in this world, which is nothing. Now, it doesn't mean all 1 million people are your clients, but that's your base of people to get customers from. I don't care what. And then that dentist of mine, I always thought of that. I was like, man, I don't want to have to make that choice between being a dentist and doing my destiny of painting. Maybe there's a way to do both. And now, when this guy was young, it was the 60s and 70s. This is an older guy. He didn't have a choice. He was locked in because there wasn't a way to easily market your passion to the world, your destiny passion to the world. His destiny, his passion was art, and he couldn't figure out a way to make money. So he had to go down another route that he may not like. And every day he's sitting there and he's, operating on people's mouths and cleaning their teeth. And I just wonder, how often does that guy go, wow, I wish I could just have made my money in art. So for you, if you're listening to this, I told you, it's not just one opportunity, it's two. The first is the internet will allow you to have clients everywhere. It will also allow you to live anywhere in the world. It will allow you to wake up whenever you want, because the internet, once you automate it, it goes on its own. It doesn't matter if you're in 9 to 5. You don't have to go in traffic. If you want to take a trip to London and go sightseeing, as long as you have your computer with you, you could keep working. It frees you up. You can go see your kid's baseball game. You can pick your kids up. You're not locked into a boss. That's what the internet does. And it gives you clients around the world. On top of that, it allows you to have your passion turned into your life, turned into your business. But remember, this does not last forever. Pay attention to what we're sharing with you in this system. This system is going to show you step by step how to change your mind, how to change your actions, and how to start turning your passions into a business that sustains you, makes you money, fulfills you, keeps you healthy, keeps you connected to other humans. That's the goal of this system. That's the goal of my life. So that you solve the 4 hard problems. You solve physical health. You solve the problem of how you're going to make your money. You solve the problem of how to be connected socially with friends, family, and romance. And you create a higher purpose for yourself, which is to leave civilization better because you are alive.